Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Friday with Fiona. And this week we are using the Shepherd's Care stamp, which is a religious one. So I always like to do some religious cards, and I do have a couple of friends that I send them to. So this is a beautiful set. I don't know that it's actually a distinctive one. It is one of our $1 million demonstrators that have designed it. That's what the little logo there means. Designer Cindy Fodor, demonstrator Cindy Fodor. So she's designed it in conjunction with Stampin' Up, and it's a cling stamp set. And the main one that I'm using is the Shepherd. So I need a bigger than normal block, and this one's just about okay because the edges of the what I'm actually stamping are on the block. So just the red around the side, and then I'll be using some sentiments. So the first one I'm using is a fancy fold, and I've used wild wheat because it looks like gold, and then I'm using this beautiful designer series paper, which is I think Seasons of Elegance. Yeah, Seasons of Elegance 12 by 12, and in the colours are cherry cobbler, crumb cake, grey granite, lost lagoon, mossy meadow, old olive, pretty peacock, and real red and gold. So the one I'm using is gold. That's the old olive. There's the real red, and there's the pretty peacock. It is stunning. I've got a lot of it to use up, so I need to make some more cards. And as I said, it is a fancy fold, but it's a really, really simple fancy fold. And then you've got the sentiment on the inside. So let me crack on and show you how to make that. I think I've got everything ready. So it is a regular card base, so half of A4. And so that is 21 centimeters, scored in half at 10.5, and depth is 14.8. And then what I'm going to do is, you can either score this, or I'm just going to take the shortcut, and I'm going to take the edge of my front and fold it back to my middle and hold it and get my bone folder to get a nice crisp. Now you could score it, and it's probably, so it's 10.5 wide, so it's going to be what, 5.25 there. So that's all you need to do to get your fancy fold. Just give that a bit more of a good crease. And then I've got a piece of basic black, which is 10 by 14.3, and then that's just going to get glued to this half here. I've got my layer of designer series paper, which is, it's just stunning. I'm sorry, I don't know what, there seems to be some sort of delay going on with the camera. I'm not sure what that's about. I apologize for that. And this is 9.5 by 13.8. So we just get a little bit of black around the edge. So I'm just going to pop that on with my seal. I hope everyone's had a good week this week. My husband's been in hospital, so I'm kind of playing catch up, as he was kept in for 2 nights, which we weren't expecting. So I was at the hospital a lot. But he's home now, and touch wood, seems to be better than he has been for a long time, which is great. So I'm just going to layer this onto the basic black and have a nice little black frame on all 4 sides. There we go. And then so I just want that to go on, and I'm just going to mark. So I've turned it wrong side up, get my pencil and mark where I can do my glue up to. So I don't want to go beyond that because it will then be visible on there. So let's just, don't even know if I can see my pencil mark now. There we go. So I'm going to go down here, and along there. You can use whichever glue you prefer. And then again, I'm going to have wild wheat frame on 3 sides. And there we go. And you can't see my pencil marks either, which is good. Okay, then I have a piece that's going to go inside, which is going to be for our sentiment. And then I've got a piece of basic beige and basic black. Now I cut these with the Nested Essentials dies with the diamond one, and then I trimmed top and bottom because I didn't want it to be too tall. It would take up the whole card. So what I'm going to do now is in Wild Wheat, I'm going to stamp my lovely shepherd. Oh, come on, open. I've just learned a trick. If your ink pads are difficult to open, if you squeeze them here, you can see there's a little there, squeeze them and it opens, and then it should then be easier going forward. Just do that again. Right in the middle where this little, there's a little, like a circle, and then it's easier to open. And I've just got it on my thumb. Okay, let's try not to mess up a card today because I've got ink on my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up. I think it's quite juicy, my Wild Wheat. And it's kind of like a distinctive stamp, this one, because you don't actually need to colour it in. And then let's line that up. And I'm going to stamp that. Hopefully he's not going to chop my lamb off. I think I might have done it a bit too high, but that's okay. There we go. Yeah, so I've got my lamb on. Okay, let's get that out of the way so I don't make a mistake. And then I'm going to glue that. So you can see, you can colour it in if you want to, but I've got quite a bit of the colour, so I don't feel there's any need to add any more colour to that. Let's get my Seal Plus, if it's working any better than the seal. I think it might be the seal might need replacing, actually. Okay, now I'm going to line that up on my Nested Essentials. So I'm lining up the middle points. There we go. And then I'm going to pop that on with Dimensionals. And I haven't put a sentiment on because I think, I don't know, I just like the clean and simpleness of it without a sentiment. And then you have that lovely verse inside. I know I'm using loads of Dimensionals, but I don't like a soggy bottom. And especially when you put them in the post. And I'm just going to line that up so it's in the middle of the card, and there you go. Isn't that beautiful with the gold? Just plain and simple, but sometimes they're the best. Okay, now I've got my bit of Very Vanilla, and what colour do I say? Yeah, I'm going to stamp. I'm going to stamp this. Praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. And I'm also going to stamp the star. Okay, so let's get this one. Let's do the star first. In fact, I'm going to get another block because I think I use the star later on another one. I don't actually think there's a wrong way with this star. I'm not 100% sure. Do that right at the top. And when that dries, it will look gold. And another one for now, the only thing about cling is you can't tell if it's straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a test one, ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it on my grid paper. Yeah, so I need to tilt it down a fraction. On the left. Right, get my paper straight, card straight even. Tilt my. Yes, not too bad. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And I'm just going to pop that inside. And then that's card 1 done. And then I will clean the stamps because I'm going to be reusing them with different colours. So Seal Plus, I just do at the corners because it's very strong and it's also expensive. So I don't need to use as much. And then just pop that inside. There we go. Okay, there you go. It's card 1. I haven't put any gems on it. I just think it's beautiful with the gold foil paper. Okay, so that's card number 1. Right, let me give the stamps a quick clean because, as I said, I'm going to be using. So I've finished with wild wheat, I think. Oops. That's my star. That's my shepherd. And the insert. Okay, so right, card 2 is a Rhonda Wade from her Creating for Christ group, which I love. And this is a Night of Navy, so you've got the prayer inside again. And this is designer series paper, and I'm just stamping onto the designer series paper and then doing the piece on earth. And I haven't got the navy blue twine, so I just coloured a bit, but it did go quite rigid. So hopefully I've got everything ready. So I've got my Night of Navy card base. Again, it's half of A4. So it's 21, scored in half at 10.5 by 14.8. Then I've got a piece of the Country Woods designer series paper. And this is 9.5. Oh, no, I've got my white bit right now. Which bit's going inside? Must be the smaller bit. Yeah, the smaller bit's going inside. I've got a piece of basic white, which is 10 by 14.3, and then this is 9.5 by 13.8. So I'm going down half a centimetre each time. The other thing I forgot to say, that this is my free class to go when you make a purchase. So if you spend £25 in my online store on anything, I will send you everything that you need to make these cards, but I cannot send you stamped images. So you just have to use an image of your own, but I would send you all the card bases, the designer series paper and everything. Okay, so now I'm going to do this in Blueberry Bushel, just because the Night of Navy I thought was a little bit dark, and I really like the way it came up with the Blueberry Bushel. So let's stamp my shepherd again. And I'm going to stamp onto the paper here. Not quite at the bottom. There we go. It's quite rustic looking. Let's give that a clean. And then I'm going to need to stamp the star. I think that needs a wash. Yes, it does. It's smelling. I think I might need a new one. Just make sure I've got all the blue off. There we go. Okay, and where did I put my star? There goes my star. In the top right corner, like so. And last but not least, on my insert, I'm going to do this, praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care. And that's going to be on my inside. So that's basic white. This, I think, is 8.5 by 12.5. Yeah. So as I was saying, if you spend £25 in my online store, and there will be a link, I will send this to you, and you'll also get written tutorial with measurements and detail, measurements and instructions. And I've completely forgotten what I was going to say about the tutorial, I think. But yeah, I'm pretty tired after spending 3 days at the hospital. And then yesterday, the car park and the hospital were completely gridlocked because of flooding on the main road just outside. Oh, it was terrible. But anyway, we got him home safely in the end. Okay, so that's my blueberry bushel. There we go. Just give these a clean. Now, what I did on my star, I thought I did have some navy ones actually. I used a purple one, but I think I'm going to use a navy. I'm going to need to clean those again because it's... There we go. Right. Okay, so this is going to go inside. And again, I'm just going to do the 4 corners with my Seal Plus. There we go. And then my basic white is going to go on the outside. Now, I must have lost my little scrap. Oh, there it is. To stamp the piece on earth. So let's put this down first. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp Peace on Earth. In Azure Afternoon again. Okay, that's okay. And what I'm going to do is, following the slant of the P, and oh look, I've got, I don't know how I managed to do it, get ink on my thumb all the time. That's it. Right, so I'm going to follow the slant of that P and just angle that like so, and then the same at the other end. There we go. And then just pop that on with some dimensionals just to the side of the shepherd. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just above the, actually that bit there I'm going to do straight because I want to line it up with the edge of the card. There we go. That's better. I wondered it didn't look the same. There we go. Peace on Earth. And then I just need to find a blue gem. Let's get my gems. This is how I keep them. I'm sure I've got blue. I mean, I can always colour it with a blend stamp. Oh yeah, I have. There we go. Opal rounds. So I want a big one to go in the middle. There we go. Nope, that's not in the middle. Okay, and there's card 2. So again, they make, I mean, obviously, if you wanted to cut him out, you'd need to fussy cut him, and that would make it much. Now there I did put some twine. my twine. And I'm not going to colour it this time because it made it really rigid. It's all curly, so I'm going to take my bone folder and just pull it along like that. And it should go straighter. Yeah, there we go. So let's just tie a bow. Cutting it with my ribbon scissors and a rolled up glue dot. So I'm just going to roll that up with my finger. Pop the twine on it. And put that just to the side there. Whoops. Just cut that bit, it's a bit curly. There we go. Let's cut that down as well. Okay, so there's card 2. This one, the first one, I did with a purple gemstone. It's a reflective gemstone. And this one is just a navy dot. So I like them both, actually. And that kind of picks out the... I mean, it's cut from the Country Woods paper, so it's supposed to look like wood. Anyway, that's card 2. Moving on to card 3. I do love this fold. Again, it's another kind of fancy fold, fun fold, but it's not difficult. And this is using basic beige. And it's called, I think it's called a bookbinder fold. So basically you score it here, and then I've run my ribbon, and I've used the basic beige ribbon. And again, this is the Country Woods paper. Okay, so yeah, again, there's a different fold, different cut of the card. So again, it's still half of A4, but instead it's 29.6 scored at 14.8. So the width is 10.5. Okay, and then I've got my designer series paper, which is cut to that, but I need to trim it down because I'm going to have my extra score line. That needs to be, I've already stamped it because it's a different color, but that needs to be fussy cuts. And then I've got this bit here, which will be revealed, and then this is for inside. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just bring my, I'm going to get everything out the way so I don't lose it. I need all of that. Right, let's get some space on the desk. Okay, the twine can go. And I've lost my bit of sellotape that I had on it. Not to worry. Just pop that up there. Those out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to bring it in my trimmer. And I'm just going to use the scoring blade. Now, what width did I score that at? Okay, so I scored that at 2.5 or an inch on just the front. And there's a bit here, so one is fraction longer, and that's so it's easy to open, and you want the longer bit at the front. So I'm just going to pop that in my trimmer. I'll do it up the top so you can see it. And I want it 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters from the score line. And I'm just going to score, that's my cutting blade, so I don't want to use that. Okay. And then what we do is we fold that back. And it's just called a book fold. So let's get that out of the way. And then there's going to be some punching. So I want my, I think it's 2 inches punch. No, it's not. It's the 2 3/8 one. Okay. So I don't want a hole in that. I want the hole in the designer series paper, which I have managed to lose. Oh, there it is. How crazy is that? And I'm going to do it from the top. And and that should be okay. And I'm going to keep that bit for another card later on. Okay. And then my square bit of the Very Vanilla, that's, by the way, I've been using Very Vanilla on the first and last cards, but Basic White on the second. So this is going to go behind my window. So all I need is the Head and Shoulders and the Lamb from my Shepherd, and I'm going to use Early Espresso. Okay, so probably, yeah, I'm getting down. I'm gonna ink up down to about here, so about half of the stamp. A bit further maybe, just to make sure. And I've got grid paper underneath, so it doesn't matter if and I want him on the left. Yeah, I want him on the left of the stamp, of the piece of card. So I've just got the top part of him, and now I've realised that I've got a gap there, but that's going to be hidden when that goes behind there. So that's going to go behind there like that. And now I'm going to use wet glue for this. So I'm going to put my wet glue around my hole, and then I can lie him down when I know where he's going to go. There we go. Just make sure there's enough on there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I need my silicone mat, which is buried. I keep tidying my desk up and it just gets buried again. Okay, I'm going to put the silicone mat there because the glue's wet. Lie that down and line him up. There we go. There's a little bit showing there, so I can just hopefully twist it. If not, I'll just trim it. I'll just trim it. Oh no, I did manage to move it. That's okay. Okay, so now I've glued him, and I need to trim off a bit. So that's 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. So I'm going to do 2 centimeters, which is just about 3/4. I want 2 centimeters. And that's going to go in there. And then that will fit. I might need to trim a little bit off there. Yes, I'll just trim it a little bit. Oh, I've got some glue on there. Get my glue eraser. Must have been on my silicone mat. I can't see it, I can feel it. That's better. So I'm going to need to trim that much off. So let's just mark that with a pencil. Let's trim that off. And then that will fit perfectly up to the score line, because this one will have the gap. So it looks then fine. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is I've got these hole punch. I think it hasn't got it on it, not sure. 1/2 inch maybe. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch 2 holes for my ribbon. Now I've got glue on my fingers. Oh, dear me. Okay, I'm going to go up from the bottom. So I'm not measuring, I'm just going to go up as far as it'll go. Punch a hole, and the same on this from the other end. Okay, and then I want it to go through, so I want my ribbon to go right through. As you can see, it's on the back there. Okay, You can do it just so it's on the inside and glue it down, but I want it to be visible. So now I've got my holes, I can line up where my hole punch is going to go. The reason I do it this way is because I don't have the strength in my hands to go through 2 bits of card. If you have the strength, do it in one go, but I don't. So this is the way I find easiest. No, that's not quite lined up. This is not going through. Right, let me do it this way because I couldn't get it to go through that other way. Okay, this one doesn't want to play the game. Just make sure I've got it in a hole. That's it. There we go. Whoops. Sorry, I just jogged the camera. Anyway, I got those on Amazon. Stampin' Up used to do them, but I didn't manage to get their ones. So I'm going to take my basic beige and put it through. Okay, I'm just working out how much I need. When I did it before, I did it a different way and I used up way too much. So it's going to go through and then it's going to tie a bow. So it should be about there. Okay. First, oh, I haven't finished with my hole punch. Okay, so I'm going to glue my bit of paper down. And it's going to cover the holes, obviously. Okay, but that's much easier to punch through. Didn't quite get the right edge of that one. Okay, that's fine. So now I can put my ribbon through and I'm going to come through from the back. There we go. Okay, now I can pull that through evenly. And it's a bit frayed where I've pushed and pulled it through, but I can trim that off in a second. Whoops. Gosh, I haven't done this type of card for ages. I did it a long time ago and absolutely one of my favourite designs. Okay, so let's just make a bow. Oh gosh, I'm all fingers and thumbs. There we go. Now I just need to trim because it is a little bit frayed. Oh. Okay, so that's the ribbon done and my book fold. And then I'm going to take my shepherd, and as I've said, there's a gap on between this page. So I'm going right up to the score line with this one. Let's just get some Seal Plus. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to line that up. There we go. And that's for my sentiment, which is going to go on with dimensionals. I am finished with that now. And somewhere I've got my, there we go. I need to fussy cut my star. So that's stamped in crushed curry. So I'm just literally, and this isn't going to be too accurate because I'm doing it for speed more than accuracy. Let's cut these edges off. Right, I need that bit. Missed my rubbish pot. Come on. Okay. Oof. Should have had this done, but never mind. Okay, just a little bit of edges there to do, trim off. And what I'll do is get my crushed curry marker and just do the ends where I've got some white bits. I know why I'm struggling to see is because I haven't got my glasses on. Right, I think I've got everything. So that's going to go on with a dimensional, probably a mini dimensional. Oh, that's. Oh, I'll use the edging of the other ones, which I've lost. I had them here a minute ago because I just used them. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, let's stop. I know they're going to turn up in a minute. Oh, there they are. I put them away for some stupid reason. Okay, so I'm going to use the end bits. I think I've already got one I've cut in half. And that should just fit in the middle there. Whoops. And that's going to go up on the edge. So he's looking up to the star, basically, is what it's supposed to look like. A couple of bits I missed. There we go. And now I need to stamp my Peace on Earth, which I had left in the early espresso. green. Yeah. Right, so peace on earth. And that's going to go inside, and it's going to, I've got, can you see my fingers? Oh my God, what a state. Okay, so that's going to go in that way, and that is 10.2 by 9. Oh, look. Okay, that's fine. I can put something to cover that up. So let's stamp my sentiments, get this straight. Pop that inside. In a minute, I'm going to stamp this because otherwise I'm going to have another accident. Oh, yeah. And I've lost that little bit of card that I was going to do that on. Can you tell I've been worn out by this week's events? Nope, it's not in the envelope. I've already got it out. Okay, this card's not having a sentiment in front. He's just having this one inside. Praying that you, I love this, praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. There we go. Let me just have one more look around for my, oh, I might have found it. There it is. Okay, peace on earth. Got it on my thumb now. Oh my God, I need to wash my hair and then that'll get it all off. Okay, so this time I'm going to cut both ends. And then pop them under there with dimensionals, which I can still find. On the example, I did put some gold snowflakes on, but I have to say I don't think they really go, so I'm just going to leave them off on this one. There we go. You see, I use the gold snowflakes, but I'm going to take them off because I don't like them. So I get everything out of the way so I don't get ink over me again, and I'll have a big clean up when we've finished. So this is card 3, which is the book fold. And then card 2 was stamping onto the designer series paper. Love that. And card 1 was the fancy fold with the gold paper. So I'd love to know which one you prefer. I actually think the book fold is my favourite. I kind of think the wood grain lends itself to the kind of the shepherd. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you spend £25 in my online store and use my host code, which will be below, then I will send you everything you need to make these cards. I'll punch the hole and I'll give you the card stock. Obviously, I can't send you the stamped images because of Stampin' Up rules, but you can substitute something else that you've got. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely weekend. And gosh, can you believe it's December next week? And we'll be making some jumbo tags, one of my favourite things to make. Thanks.